Hi, so I'm Richard. I'm a regional director here at Sheridan Main. I've been here 10 years, started off as just a recruitment consultant, and then I moved on to being a team manager and now the regional director. I look after 7 guys in London that do any recruitment all the way up from kind of accounts administration all the way through to the CFO level. I myself have got 10 years worth of experience, mainly focusing on the interim and temporary market across all levels. I really enjoyed that part of the business and working to kind of that speed with the interim section. What about yourself, Sean?
Hi, my name's George Grinstead. I've been a charity mate for about 2 years now. In terms of my background, I've been in practice recruitment for around 11 years now and decided to take the jump to Sheridan Main, joined as an associate director, and over the last 2 years we've grown from just myself to a team of 6, so a very positive start.
So George, what strategies are proving most effective for attracting high quality practice candidates at the moment?
I think it comes down to what the employer's offering the candidates. So career progression, hybrid working, competitive salaries. But I think the one thing that stands out is just a clear route to progression. So if let's say you're joining a business as a semi-senior accountant, how can I get to that partner level? How long is it going to take me? When can I manage a team? I assume that's quite similar for yourself.
No, definitely. In the industry sector, progression is huge. But I think that we also have to be careful of not wanting to walk into your interview and tell the person interviewing you want their job in 2 years.
100%. Yeah, it's 100%.
No, definitely. I think career progression is a huge one, as well as the work-life balance and the salaries as well. I think we touched on it previously as well. It's about the overall package now. It's not just about the base salary. People are looking for careers. Don't see as many job hoppers as we had done in the past. So I think that's important.
How important would you say company branding is?
It's huge at the moment. Candidates are actively researching their businesses that they want to go and work for. They're doing their due diligence like I've never seen before, making sure it's the right move for them. And I think this links massively to a lot of the other questions we've asked about the company culture, the work-life balance, what it's actually like to work for this business. I think it's huge in the market. You've obviously got your big names that have been out there for years and years that everybody wants to work for, but all the SMEs coming through. And I think with the ability, with technology, to really kind of research these businesses in greater depth than ever before, not just word of mouth or you knew someone that wants to work there. It's now about going on your Glassdoors, your testimonials, your Google reviews, all of that element. It's giving a lot more power to the candidates when they're researching. I don't know much about practice because that's the same for you. Obviously, I know the big 4, the top 10, but your smaller ones, is it the same?
Yeah, I think as a small SME, you need to stand out. You need to try and make yourself competitive. So the big guys in the market, so you can attract the candidates into your business. So similar to what you were saying, branding, huge, looking online, company days out, even route to progression. Some companies I know do have that on their website. So essentially for us as recruiters, sometimes you start as a consultant and work your way up to a director.
No, I must admit, we spent a lot of time in the past speaking about sort of core pillar stones of the culture of a business. I think they're still very, very relevant, but people really want to know the bits and bobs about working there, what it's like. And I think if the ability to do that research now, it gives them a greater sense of doing that.
Yeah.
So George, in industry, it's quite common for people to move on for career progression, but also the company is a big draw. Somewhere else might be a bigger company or an organisation that's more linked to what they want to do in the future. But in practice, what do you find has been the main reason for professionals to leave their current employer?
I think it's right on what you were saying in terms of limited career progression. Below market salaries is something that is problematic within the practice market. And then touching on as well regarding the workloads, people want to go into a practice that has a busy workload, somewhere where they can kind of sit down, get their teeth into their work and just have that law value of clients to work. So Richard, how can organisations improve retention after making a successful hire?
Regular career reviews, catch-ups, one-to-ones, monthly meetings. I think a big thing in the market as well is about mentoring. A lot of the guys we're looking to place now are looking to grow and want to do better. I think the mentoring element of that is huge, especially within finance, getting through your qualifications and then learning and growing from people that have been there, done it, seen it, got the t-shirt. That sort of thing is absolutely massive. So the investment in training and then also just maintaining a positive work culture is such a big thing. One bad apple ruins the apple cart, all of these old cliches, all of these old sayings. It's important to make sure you get the exposure to that person that they want. Listen to them, answer their questions, but if they tell you something in your reviews or your one-to-ones or your catch-ups, let's implement it and put it in place. That is incredibly important in today's market. So George, what do you think practice recruitment is going to look like over the next 5 years?
I think if you look at practice as a whole, it's always been a candidate short market. I intend to see that continuing over the next 5 years. But I think with graduates, juniors, I think AI is going to come into play a little bit and look to kind of take them lower level jobs away. Is that something that would do?
No, 100% I agree with you. I think that our market industry is going to be more candidate driven. I'm worried, as I think you are as well, because you've said that a couple of times now, about that entry level, that junior level, whether people get that experience.
Yeah.
And we joke about it, we all joked about it back in the day, but practice, you work in 7 till 10 at night, and then you're back in the next day for that last week and all of that side of it. Where do you grow that? That will make you the best finance people who've had to go through the hard bit to then be able to reap benefits later on. But I really think with recruitment, the consultant touch is going to be so important over the next 5 years. We're recruitment consultants, but I've always classed myself as a consultant. I want to be an extended part of the business that I'm recruiting for, and I want to know the ins and outs of culture, what they're looking to do, and then want to fit that with the person, because personality is going to be key over the next 5 years, 100% at every hire. George, which practice roles do you think are going to most likely evolve with the implementation of the AI in your automation?
Yeah, I think it will be kind of your bookkeeping and accounts prep, compliance type of roles, which will be affected by AI. But then on the flip side, your kind of more advisory roles where you're kind of having that client interaction will hopefully stay the same.
I think that's the same in the industry. I think our transactional roles, the processing of invoices, even as far as credit control, where you're sending out the automated emails about debtor days and stuff like that. And again, on the flip side, I agree with you as well. I think the more senior roles now, where it's actually that commercial bit that we need, that acumen that we've spoken about, where you actually have to go into the wider business and discuss finance with them, I think that's going to be ever more relevant in the coming years.
What advice would you give employers looking to future-proof their finance hiring strategy?
I would strongly invest in your branding, your brand, what you stand for, what you're looking for, the culture you want to create. 100% that would be my main one. And then I'd look at genuine flexibility in what you're offering people, whether that is the hybrid working or it's core hours or it's things like that. People do want that now. That's a huge thing with what they want to do. I think you also need to embrace technology. I'm not so hot on technology.
Yeah.
I don't want it to take my job, but I don't want it to take my candidates' jobs. But I think the whole world is moving that way. So I think it's very important that you as a business definitely evolve around technology, incorporate it into your business and how you go. With practice, how do you see that being the case?
The same.
The same. How that's perfect. George, look, if we're honest, industry and practice, a lot of these are going to align. I think that a lot of it is going to be the same.
Yeah.
You know that your brand has got to be strong, but you also know you've got to take time to invest in the future or what you can do. You've also, to retain good people, you need a good culture, you need a good workspace, and you need a really, really good environment. And that comes from the top down. You know this.
Yeah.
So George, how do you feel that recruiters can build stronger talent pipelines in an increasingly competitive market?
I think it all comes down to the consultativeness of it, that relationship you build with the candidate, your experience as a specialist and how you portray that to your candidates, I think is quite important.
No, George, I completely agree with you in that, and I think it's long been an idea of us and definitely a philosophy of shall remain that candidates become clients and clients become candidates. We see the life cycle massively in finance because a lot of people do start on a transactional level and work their way up. You think in the 10 years I've been here, I would have placed people that were accounts payable clerks and are now probably FCs, FDs, finance managers. It's about that consultative approach that you're talking about. That's incredibly important now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. With recruitment consultants, we will need to be consultants in this market. It's about building trust at the end. Well, that's it. Couldn't agree with you all.
So what do you believe will be the single biggest challenge over the next coming years within finance recruitment?
I think the economy is going to be the biggest one. Are people going to have the confidence to grow their teams, to move forward, to get bigger, to really invest in their finance team? Before COVID, finance was a great part of the business. It was kind of the big wedges to get your expenses signed off. Now, finance is sitting next to CEOs. They're on the board meetings. They're having that. Everybody wants to know where they are financially, fiscally within the year, where they are, what they're doing, how they're getting on. And I think that's going to be the greatest challenge is people have confidence to just run with it and give it a go.
So Richard, I think it's been quite an informative chat, learning about the differences between practice and industry at the moment. I hope viewers as well, you've enjoyed our company. And Richard, I know you've enjoyed mine.
No, really enjoyed it, George. It's always good to chat. And I think there was a lot more similarities between our industries than we actually thought there was. So that's been interesting for me to learn. But no, definitely, if you guys have got any questions or want any more information, then please do reach out to Sherry Domain and we'll see what we can do for you.